Hey guys, Paul here. Welcome back to the channel. So I have been reviewed a few of front instrument cluster display for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y this year so far, and I have picked 3 of the best that I've reviewed so far, which are these 3 right here. So in today's video, I'll be comparing these 3 side by side, including the overall design of the display, the graphic of the display, the functionality, also how they look in the car, and how they look while I drive the car. And at the end, we'll see which of these display is best for you. Now, let's go. Alright, let's start with these 2 displays first, since I was able to connect this display and this display all together in my Tesla Model 3. So one of them is connecting to the OBD port over there, is 20 pin, and then one of them is connecting to the rear 26 pin OBD port in the back here. And this one is 9.6 inches display. I think they count it from here too. It looks from here really similar size. As you can see, this one is lower profile, this one is 8.8, but it's lower than this one. So I have it sitting up here, but normally you would have it sit right here, just right on the dashboard itself. So this one has the adhesive that you can stick on the dashboard, but this one you install on the steering wheel column right here. So let's talk about the installation first before we actually go through the graphic on the display and some of the functions on the display. So this one, you have to take off the dashboard and then connect to the 20 pin over there, and also remove your steering wheel column and then replace it with the new one that attached to the display. This one you don't have to remove anything at all from the steering wheel column, because the display has the cable that you run down here to the center console and then connect to the rear 26 pin OBD port. So this one is much easier to install. I would say it takes you probably 10 to 15 minutes to install. This one you would take you at least half an hour to install, probably half an hour to 45 minutes to install. So the installation, it's much different here. These 2 are from the same company. They from Teslasy, I believe. Yeah, Teslasy. And let's check out the one from Test Studio. So this is the display from Test Studio. You have to remove the dashboard, and then it also connects to the same OBD ports in the front. Just right there is 20 pin OBD ports, the same location as the 8.8 inch. This one is about 10 inch, I believe. The display itself is about 10 inch. So this is the biggest display. The installation probably similar to the 8.8 inch from Teslasy. This one is much bigger, bulkier display. So if you want to keep a little bit more sleek, you might like the 8.8 or the 9.6 inch from Teslasy. But this one, it's more integrated, so you get that redirecting air vent into the display, and then it will come out on the top part of the display right here. So the installation on this one, it would take at least, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour to install. So this is probably the most complicated one, because you have to remove the dashboard out and then actually install the display on the dashboard, then you put the dashboard back in. Alright, let's look at the graphic on those 2, and then we'll come back to this one. Now let's comparing the graphic on these 2 first. So this is the startup graphic. That's, you know, when you first get in the car, and this is the starter graphic for the 9.6 inch. The quality wise, I think this one has better quality than the 9.6, or even better than the Test Studio one. This one is really nice, clean and sharp, really good details, graphic, and even the overall design. This is where you start up the car, or where you first get in the car. So when you open the door, the animation on the displays also opens the door, and this display has both night or dark mode and light mode, so you can control and change, you know, between day and night. So this one can go night mode like this, or the regular day mode, but this one only has one option, which is the dark mode, just black display, similar to the Tesla. We'll go to that one after these two real quick. I will show all the status in the car. I'll just leave it at the night mode for these two, so we can easily see, compare side by side. And if you shift the gear to drive, it will change to this, or it will change to this for this one. So this one has a built-in compatible front forward camera, so you can connect to the front camera. This one does not. This one is probably the simplest compared to the three, because it only has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the instrument cluster display. This one has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, instrument cluster, all the info from the car, and also the front forward camera function. Let's check out the basic information on the display real quick. You have the gear selections on the right hand side, the battery status, the range, and odometer in the middle. This one probably offered the biggest fonts, font size on the display compared to the 3. We'll check out that one real quick. So it's easier to see clearly. You don't have to try harder to see. This one has a smaller font, as you can see, and this one is a thicker font too. It's easier to see, and you have time and temperature right here. All the warning lights on the top left hand corner. You have speedometer right here, and you have the car status on this side. Compared to this one, you have the battery status and the range on the left, and then you have the time and also your gear selection on the right, and the warning lights right here. Shift, so you will have always have your car information in the middle, and then this, when you shift the gear, it will tell you to press on the brake to drive. And I believe this one has the speedometer. See, speedometer on the right, similar to this one, similar to the 8.8. Okay, so the functions on this integrated display from Test Studio, so you can see you have the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, also blind spot warning left and right, and then also autopilot warning on this one. Those two don't have the autopilot warning. The 8.8, it just had the latest update, which has the blind spot warning now on the 8.8, the flat one that sits on the steering wheel column. And this one also has the front forward camera option. It's optional. You can add to the display when you buy it from their website, but if you don't need it, you don't have to add it. And this is the basic information when you first start the car, really similar to the 9.6-inch display. You can see it's the car status, and then shift the gear pedal, and then you have the speedometer on the right, and you have the gear selections on the right with the time and the battery status, also the range. Does it have the range? Okay, hold on, let me see if it has the range when I drive. Okay, so it does not have the range or the odometer on this display compared to those two. I just realized right now, so if I didn't do this comparison, I wouldn't even know. I have reviewed so many of these front instrument cluster display, and this one has the big built-in speakers. The speaker sound wise, this is probably the best speaker sounds, and you have the slots here to manually update the software update. I try to update through over the air. This one does not, but the 8.8 inch, the one I'll show you later, the one on the serial columns, that can do OTA. That's only the one that has over the air update compared to the 3. Alright, let's go back to those two and see the setting menu, what you can adjust for those two, and we'll come to this one. Alright, so come back to this one. Before we go through the menus and setting, let me show you real quick. This one probably the lowest profile, and it does not block the AC. As you can see, it's right there. It might block like a really tiny bit. I just recently tested this one even with the airflow test. Let me show you how airflow is. You can see air is going through the steering wheels from here, or even out here. You can still feel the airflow to your face. Now this one, it sits right here, so it sits higher, closer to the AC compared to this one, which is sits further out and then lower, so you can get more airflow. Definitely get this one, get more airflow without having to have a built-in, air vent on this one. This one block a little more, so the air still could go up a little bit because it's not that high. And that one has the built-in airflow, as I mentioned before, on the top part. But after I compared the 3, the airflow, I think this is probably the best airflow compared to the 3. Even that one has the built-in airflow, but it doesn't get that much air compared to this, because you get straight airflow from the car instead of redirecting the air through the built-in air vent on the display. Let's go through the menu real quick. So this one has a touchscreen that you can touch. Does this one have touchscreen? I think does have touchscreen, but you cannot touch the screen to go through the main menu. This one you could easily just swipe to the right and then go to the menu. So the menu has the general right here, display, wireless for you to connect to the Wi-Fi at home, so you can download the software. So general, you have language, time format, and this is the front forward camera options you can turn on, off, and it also has the setting for your front forward camera, so you can do a lot of adjustment on the front forward camera. This is probably the first display that you can adjust the front forward cameras, regarding frame rate or even resolution on here. So save, quit, you can also change back manually. Just swipe really fast down or up, then you'll come back to the main display, and you can turn on or off steering wheel control, which is on the right hand side, this one, and tire pressure unit you can change, and then the time zone. And display, you can change white, red, that's a car color. You can change the car color to different car colors. Oh, one more thing before I forget. So this display, for now, you only have the new Model 3 Highland graphic, not Model Y or no Model 3 yet, the old Model 3 yet. I asked Teslasy, they said they will send out the software update, or they update the new software to the new display that will have the Model Y option. Alright, let's go back to setting real quick. And then wireless, of course, you can choose between the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Hi Car, and then set up the Wi-Fi. You can connect to your Wi-Fi. You have to connect to your Wi-Fi here first before you can check and update the software. But you can do it right here. You don't have to go to your computer, download the software, and then put in your drive anymore. You can just do it from the display. Now let's go back. We go through the setting on this one already. Now let's go through the setting on this one. Okay, so in order to go through the setting on this one, you have to shift to drive or neutral, and then you can scroll on the right hand scoring wheel right like this, and then just shift, change to setting, and press to the right, and then the setting menu will come up. So this is all the setting that you can do. You can set up the sound, and then the lights, the brightness, you can do auto, and then the time zone, control. You can do the auto Bluetooth, which is for the Apple CarPlay, and then the output, audio output, and driver seat, direction, over speed reminder, steering wheel control, and the tire pressure unit. And you can change to different languages here. And the software update, it just show, this is not the software update, it just show what software you are on right now with this display. But you have to put in the micro SD card right here, micro SD slot. So just download the file, put in your micro SD card, and then put in the slot for you to update the software. So that's it. Though it's really simple. I really like the setting menu on these two because really simple to set, to change, a lot less complicated than most display. Especially this one is really simple. It doesn't have much, so if you don't need a lot of stuff on the display, all you need is the instrument cluster and all the information for on the car plus the Apple CarPlay. I would go with this one. But if you want a little bit more functions, then this one offers Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and also the front forward camera. As I mentioned before, even though this one has a built-in air vent, I feel like I get more airflow from the 8.8 display than this one, because this one has to redirect the air, and then the air has to squeeze through a smaller air vent to come through you, but you still get a better airflow than the 9.6 display because of the built-in air vent. And as for software update, you have to use one of these slots right here. I just used the USB-C port right there to plug in my drive, and then use the included adapter, USB-C adapter, and then plug it in and then upload the software. So the latest software that they gave it to me really complicated to update. You have 3 different files to update, and one of the files took me like almost an hour, and then you have to do one by one at a time, and it took total time about 1.5 hours to do the software update on this one. But it changed a lot of software update. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention, that this one has more functions than those two. Another functions, that is the shortcut. So as you swipe down, you get all these shortcuts, you know, up and down the audio volume, and CarPlay, Android Auto, setting, Bluetooth. Also you have shortcut buttons, so you can use the shortcut buttons to open front passenger doors, two rear passenger doors, or for the mirrors. You can see, press and then press again, and then I'll unfold the mirrors. There you go. So just press this, and then even, you know, something simple like opening glove box. There you go. So the reason why the software update was big files, and also took a while to do the software update because the file is big, and it changed and includes a lot of stuff that it didn't have all of these shortcuts button too. So yeah, that's the extra functions that those two display don't have. And regarding the menu, you can press and hold to the left, then you have the main menu right here, so you can change the language, time zone, the temperature unit, and the time, the speed limit on or off, tire pressure, car color, and the theme. So those two only have one UI, but this one has 2 UI, so you can select 2 different UIs. I will show later in the videos the 2 UIs. And brightness, flat switch, Wi-Fi. I tried this. You can't really over the air update on this display. Unfortunately, you have to use the drive. And this one also have the optional front forward camera. I don't have it to connect to the display, so I just turn it off. And yeah, audio output, and pretty much it. You cannot change the car. You can change the colors of the car. So this is the second UI. This is what it looks like on the display. And let me show you the first UI. So this is the first UI. So there are two different UIs on this one, and only has a dark mode, no more light mode like this, because they want to keep the display really clean and then integrated, because if it had the light mode like this, you will see all the edges and it doesn't blend in nicely like what you see now. Alright, now let me show you what it looks like on the, while you drive, all the graphics, both UIs on this one, and then both of those display while driving, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you which one's my favorite.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing.
Alright, so after I show you how it looks like when I drive, and then what it looks like on each display when I change to Apple CarPlay, let me tell you which one is my favorite on each of these display in terms of graphic and the look of the display. Let's start with the look first, like how the display looks in my car. This one is definitely my new favorite one so far. It's super sleek and it's low. You get the airflow, but you get that feeling of it being the original part of Tesla. So it looks like OEM. It doesn't look like you buy an aftermarket display and just attach to the car. This one looks a little bit less OEM, because you can see this cable only way you see the cable when you walk in the car, but when you actually sit and drive, you don't really see that cable anymore. And I believe the newer version of the display, the cables comes in black now, so it's blending better with the dashboard and everything else here. And in terms of regular driving graphics, I would go with this one too. You have two options. It will follow whatever this display is, and you can select it by yourself, either light mode or dark mode. That one only has dark mode. Also the integrated display from Teslasy also has the dark mode only. But the Apple CarPlay integration wise, I think I like this one the most. Let me show you again real quick. See, this is what it looks like for the Apple CarPlay though. So the Apple CarPlay will take place of the display right here. So this one take, I would say, 2/3 of the display, and you still have information that you need, similar to the integrated display one. Take 2/3 of the display and you still have information that you need on the right hand side. But this one, they integrated really well, so it takes most of the display actually. It takes like, I would say 80% of the display, and you still have the information that you need on the left and the right hand side. So you have the speedometer on the right, and you have your range on the left, and everything else, all the warning lights along two sides too, which is the best CarPlay integrated to the display so far. It looks really nice. You have big CarPlay in the middle. You see the map really well. Compared to these two, this is probably the best integrated display. But the look wise in the car, sleek and OEM, the most OEM, I would have to go with this one. See how clean and sleek it is compared to the other two. These two displays from Teslasy also have an options for the new Tesla Model 3 Highlands 2. So you can choose for Model Y, Model 3, or the new Model 3 Highlands. Unlike the bigger ones from Test Studio, that only fits the older Model 3 and the current Model Y. If you want to go for the functionality, I would have to go with this one, no doubt. This one has Apple CarPlay. As you can see, it takes up like 2/3 of the display. It's big, but it's not as wide as the one that we saw on the 9.6 inch. The functionality gotta give to this one. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, front forward camera, optional, and also touch screen with the shortcut buttons, which is, I don't see the display with this many functions before. This is probably the most functions display that I have seen. Yeah, looks really good too, but my favorite display still the 8.8 inch display. So here are the reasons why I picked this T8 display from Teslasy over another two display. So first of all, the design. I believe a lot of you who bought Tesla really like to keep that minimalistic look and the clean look of your interior, and this display kind of offers that for the car. It keeps really clean look design of the car instead of, you know, big bulky display or out of place shape. This one keep it really clean, plus it is low enough that you still can get the airflow right in front of you for the driver. And then second, the functionality. I believe this display offers the functionalities that most people need. So basically, like me, I only need the information right in front of me while I drive, and Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Plus, for this display, you can get optional front forward camera that you can add to the display. And last but not least, the price. So with the front forward camera, after the discount code, it's only $260. I think this is reasonable and it's a good value for the front instrument cluster display compared to a lot of display in the market so far. Let me know in the comment down below what you think about all of these three displays and which one is your favorite. I'll make sure to put all the links of the three display in the description down below with special discount code for you too. Also the links for all three video reviews that I made for all of these three display with the installation process in the videos. And thank you so much guys for watching today's video. Make sure to click like if you like the video. Make sure to subscribe for more awesome contents like this. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.